Hi, Seattle Desi TV US. This is Bharat Kumar here. We are here at the special venue, The Spotlight in Woodinville. We are here at the meet and greet event of Athenna Crosby, Miss World America. Are you excited, guys? We are meeting her for a special interview. We've taken thanks for taking time from your busy schedule. We're so happy to have you on the show. We want to learn more about you, right? The first thing we want to know is what inspired you to even take part in this pageant in the first place?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to Seattle Desi TV for this invitation. It's so wonderful to sit down and talk to you. My pageant journey actually began 20 years ago. This is my 20th year doing pageants. And I was inspired because of my mom. I come from a country called Venezuela, so I hold dual citizenship. So my mom was born and raised there, and I obtained my citizenship there as well. In Venezuela, pageants are a huge deal. It's a huge part of the culture. So my mom participated in a pageant, and when she moved to the United States later on and had a family, it was always something sort of in the background of my mind. Knowing my mom's history, watching pageants on TV growing up, I was always really inspired by the women that I saw. So knowing that it was sort of in my blood, I just went for it one day, and it's been an incredible journey ever since then. So that was sort of the origin.
Wow, 20 years you have been in the pageant.
20 years. I did my first pageant when I was 7 years old, and in a month and a half, I'll be turning 27. So that will commemorate 2 decades of doing pageants. And what better way to be in this position right now,
yes.
right? Go out on top.
So the other thing we wanted to, being there, becoming Miss World America is not easy. What the audience would like to know is what did it take for you to be here? How much of hard work, what all was involved in getting to that stage?
That is a wonderful question. I think there's a misconception that pageants are all about physical beauty or just showcasing the outward attributes of women. But in reality, a lot of us have a greater passion and a message as to why we do a pageant. It's not easy going out for a public job interview, right? There's months of campaigning leading up to the final night. And then, of course, when you're on the final night, you're competing in multiple categories and different rounds to show the judges why you deserve this job, this very public job. And the reason why I entered pageants, aside from my cultural connection to it, was because I'm very passionate about advocating and giving back to the community. My little brother, Adrian, is on the autism spectrum. And growing up, my family encountered a lot of challenges with that. People weren't always very understanding. They passed judgment, or they mentioned to my parents that Adrian didn't belong, in certain situations. And my brother, Adrian, has been so resilient and inspiring me to keep going. And I really want to share the world his message. And that's why I'm here today.
Wow. So I think the story behind it is very powerful, and I think why you are there. I think not only a personal story, but also what was the challenges that actually you came across when trying to become that Miss World America? Like, did you go through a lot of rounds of interviews, or what is involved in becoming Miss World America?
There are many steps. The initial process is, of course, applying for the pageant and expressing your interest, and then you meet with the folks who are organizing. So in this case, it would be directors Ekta and Sanjay Saini. And leading up to the pageant, you're promoting yourself on social media and to anybody who will listen, but you're also honing in on your why, right? Like, why do I want this job? Why do I want to be Miss World America? And what message do I have that I want to share with the world? So kind of finding your message and also your personal branding. What can I bring to the table with this job? So I sort of divided up into 3 categories, which is, why do I want this job? AKA, why should they pick me?
Yeah.
B, what can I offer them? What can I bring to this company, right? When you do a job interview, what can I offer the company? And then also, what do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to leave behind? So those 3 things were what I had to answer when I was figuring out, my journey to Miss World America. And then, of course, there are the world famous categories like evening gown, where you walk in a beautiful dress on stage. There's the onstage interview, the onstage question. There's a closed door interview with the judges panel. And then there's also some optional contests like talent and fitness, where you can showcase, your other skills. But all of this encompassing is how they choose the winner.
Wow,
so it's a
there's
lot.
a
You got to
lot.
be prepared for anything.
So I'd say then congratulations for really being
Oh,
the Miss
thank
World
you.
America. And, how are you feeling representing, America and Miss World? I think it's just coming in a couple of months. It's November. So there's a lot to do before you get there. How is your feeling?
There is so much to do, and to be honest, I've never been in a position like this before. This is such a unique job that I'm sort of learning day by day as we go along. I know for sure that there are messages that I want to carry to the world, but then I'm also figuring out, like, what does it mean to be an American? What does it mean to represent my country on the international stage? And I'm meeting with lots of people in the community, whether that be, friends, family, or even constituents, and hearing their stories has inspired me. I take a little bit of information with every person that I meet, whether that's their immigration story, like my mother's, whether that's their story living in their hometown of whatever city that is in the USA. So in this case, it'd be Seattle or my hometown of San Jose. Hearing everybody's story inspires me. And I go, okay, by learning this is what I want to represent on the international stage of, like, this is what it means to be an American.
Fantastic. So, what changed after becoming that Miss World American, before and after? And, I just was talking to you offline there, and there's a lot of travel involved. What does it mean for you, all of this?
The travel opportunities are definitely one of the perks of this job. I'm so grateful to be here in Seattle. Following this, I go to Arizona, Texas, and Florida, and then I have an international trip coming up later this month. So it's wonderful because this organization gives you a microphone, not only literally, but metaphorically too, right? People want to listen to what you have to say. They want to hear, oh, Miss World America, what do you think about this and this and that? And that also opens the doors to meet new people that I would have otherwise never met. And that too includes opportunities to travel to meet said people, whether that's locally, nationally, or even internationally. So I'm so grateful. I have been a little jet lagged. I had a trip last month to Dubai. That was a 16-hour flight. But you know what? I was happily flying with my little eye mask on, and I'm just grateful for every single second of this journey. But yes, the travel is one of the perks for sure.
Yeah, it just gives you a lot of responsibility, right? It's
yes,
the biggest responsibility.
Of course. And one thing I learned, I have to share this tidbit, is America is such an iconic nation to people all over the world. And I've come to find that most international folks are actually very in tune with our culture because they watch a lot of American TV and movies and music. So everywhere you go, people sort of know a lot about what it's like to live in the US already. And they have things to say like, oh my gosh, my favorite movie is, like Dirty Dancing or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's good to know. That's just their one thing that they connect to the United States. And they get so excited. It's almost like being a celebrity everywhere you go.
Wow.
Oh, do you live in Hollywood? I do live in Hollywood. Oh my gosh, are you famous? Not yet. Maybe someday.
Soon.
Maybe someday.
Soon.
But everyone's really excited. It's such an honor to carry this country on my chest because everyone has a memory with it.
That's right. We call it the American dream, right?
The American dream, 100%.
This is like for all the immigrants as well. So this is great. I think the other thing we want to share with our audience is, what is the guidance you would like to give for anybody who is working towards becoming that pageant, or even people who are saying that's not for me? Because to your point, people think that pageants are more about the beauty and thing. They don't really connect the beauty with the purpose. So we would like to hear your view on it. So it would be good guidance for anybody who is planning to.
I could go on and on about all the advice I could give to any young women who are aspiring to do a pageant. That is a much longer conversation. But what I will say now, just like the saying, famous Nike saying, just do it. I meet so many young women who are apprehensive about doing a pageant because they're not sure if they have what it takes, or they're a little bit shy. They've never walked in high heels before or stood in front of an audience and spoke publicly. And for that reason, they tend to have imposter syndrome, like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. I can't do it. And they let the opportunity pass them by. And if I could just give them advice, it would be just to do it. Go through with it. Even if it's just a bucket list thing for you and you want to check it off and say, I did that once in my life, you will never regret the opportunity of putting yourself out there and seeing where that door leads you, because every opportunity has multiple different avenues of where it can go. You never know where it's going to take you. So I would say, don't have imposter syndrome. Don't have that self-doubt. Don't keep it from from making that decision to go through with something you've always wanted to do. I would welcome any young woman to do a pageant.
I love the way you said, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do
Don't
it.
hesitate. Actually, I was just talking to another one of the young women in the top 5, the second runner-up. Her name's Anne. She lives in New York. And this was her first pageant ever. And I
Wow.
go, how in the world did you find this pageant? Continue signing up and going through with it. And then to make it all the way to the top three.
Wow.
Right? It just blew me away. And she said, I just decided one day that I was going to go through with it. At that point, she had already paid the money and sort of invested a little bit in it already. So she sort of had no choice but to run it through. And she's just so blessed and grateful that she did it. So let Anne's story be any inspiration to any young women.
Thank you for sharing such a nice story. And also the message that you're giving, just do it, will give a lot of confidence to the newcomers who want to take time to do it. Lastly, before we finish the interview, we would like to know one biggest challenge that you have had and how you came across that. Because that's big, as you said, becoming Miss World America, or even getting to that stage of representing America in the Miss World is it comes with a lot of challenges. If you could share one challenge that was the biggest one and how you overcome that, that would be great.
Thank you for asking me that. And there are many challenges with anything in life. No matter what goal you have set out to achieve, there will be hurdles along the way. So I knew that going into it, that it wasn't going to be easy, but with hard work, anything is possible. I'll say one thing that I experienced earlier this year. Since tapping more into my culture of being half Venezuelan, I have started speaking Spanish more. I started interacting with other Venezuelan folks. And although I found a lot of support from the community, I've also found those naysayers and those haters who have said, oh, you're not Latina enough, or you don't represent us, or you don't fit into our culture. And I realized that instead of letting that get me down, I could use it as an inspirational story, because my story is very much a truly American story, being the daughter of an immigrant who came to the United States with that American dream. Meeting my father and having a multicultural and biracial family is not only mine, but the story of so many other young people across America. And so instead of letting those haters get me down and say, oh, you're not Venezuelan or you're not American, I proudly say, you're right, I'm neither of those because I'm both. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned throughout this year is my identity is actually my superpower. And through embracing that, I can inspire other young women just like me.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, because that's the biggest thing. The global world is becoming more global, and I think thinking
more
about
diverse,
us, more diverse.
More
And so I
diverse.
think thinking the way you said it is phenomenal. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Our Seattle Desi TV would like to wish you success. And guys, stay tuned for Miss World. We have future Miss World here. So we wish you all the success. And good luck with the whole process that you go through as well.
And I want to say one last thing is I just recently learned a new saying, Indian saying of calling somebody G, like after their name. So how would I pronounce your name?
Bharat Ji?
Bharat Ji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bharat Ji, from Seattle Desi TV for this interview opportunity.
Oh, thank you, Athenna Ji. That was so nice.
Oh, no. No, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not worthy. I'll work up to the title of G. I don't know if I'm worthy of it yet.
The question you asked itself made you worthy. So,
Right. I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again,
Thank
and
you
we're
for
looking
this
forward for the Miss
opportunity.
World.
All
And
right.
have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you.